So remember, you should be asking yourself, what is Mama doing at this point? And this is what the teacher responds back. Biting the hand that feeds you? That's what you're doing, Mary Logan. Biting the hand that feeds you. Again, Mama laughed. If that's the case, Daisy, I don't think I need that little bit of food. With the second book finished, she stared at a small pile of 7th grade books on her desk. Well, I just think you're spoiling those children, Mary. They've got to learn how things are sometime. Maybe so, said Mama, but that doesn't mean they have to accept them, and maybe we don't either. Miss Crocker gazed suspiciously at Mama. Although Mama had been a teacher at Great Faith for 14 years, ever since she graduated from the Crandon Teacher Training School at 19, she was still considered by many of the other teachers as a disrupting maverick. So that's a vocabulary word. If you're not really sure what that means, remember to scroll back up, and you'll find that maverick means independent individual who does not go along with the group. So if you need to copy and paste that to the page, I would suggest that. So the mom is considered a maverick. Her ideas were always a bit too radical and her statements a bit too pointed. The fact that she had not grown up in Spokane County but in Delta made her even more suspect, and the more traditional thinkers like Miss Crocker were wary of her. Well, if anyone ever does come from the county and sees Cassie's and Little Man's books messed up like that, she said, I certainly won't accept the responsibility for them. It will be easy enough for anyone to see whose responsibility it is, Daisy, by opening up any 7th grade book, because tomorrow I'm going to mess them up, too. Miss Crocker, finding nothing else to say, turned imperiously and headed for the door. I dashed across the hall and awaited her exit, then crept back. Mama remained at her desk, sitting very still. For a long time she did not move. When she did, she picked up one of the 7th grade books and began to glue again. I wanted to go and help her, but something warned me that now was not the time to make my presence known, and I left. I would wait until the evening to talk to her. There was no rush now. She understood. Okay, so the chapter ends with saying, Cassie thinks her mom understands, and it goes back to what she's doing. So if you're not really sure what she's doing, we should go back to kind of reread that section. And it says, she had trimmed the paper to the size of the books and was now dipping a gray-looking glue from the brown bottle into the inside cover of one of the books. Then she took the paper and placed it over the glue. Okay, so just to kind of clarify for you, if you're a little stuck, we know that Mama understands why Little Man and Cassie were so upset. It comes down to this page right here that Little Man opens up and sees. And so Mama's reaction is to cut blank pieces of paper to glue over this page so that Little Man and Cassie don't have to see it anymore. Okay, that concludes chapter 1, and all we're left now with is our last question. So our last question is, why does Little Man get in trouble? Why does he do this? Okay, so we highlighted all our ideas in green. And I usually just pick the one that I feel like best answers the question. So if we look in green, I think it starts there. He asks for another book. Okay, so that tells us what he does, but it doesn't really tell me why. So then his eyes grew wide and flings the book to the ground. That still doesn't tell me the why part. It does tell me what he does to get in trouble. Okay, I think looking at this line, it says they give us these old books when they didn't want them anymore. Sorry, want them no more. So I'm going to choose this one because I think this really tells me the why Little Man is so upset. Okay. So I'm going to put in the text. It says, all of these have been quotes within quotes. Remember, I usually add the extra quote. And I found this on page 26. Okay, so this means that little man feels upset because he is given a book that is in bad condition. So I'm trying to see, like, we want to make sure to answer the whole question, right? So this shows that he gets in trouble because Miss Crocker thinks he is being so the word I'm looking for here is like he's being like, so in her eyes she thinks that he's being defiant, while little man is offended because they are receiving books only after white children no longer see a use for them. So this kind of goes back to the idea that, like, he's offended that they're getting, like, treated worse than the white children. Like, you know, the white children get to use them in great conditions, while, like, they don't get to use them until now they're in poor conditions. Okay, this concludes chapter 1 already. So if you completed everything with me, then that means you're ready to turn this in. You can still go back to your notes, which is the next part. Thanks for following along with the video.